Howdy, everybody. Welcome back one more time again to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. Today we're going to be chatting with Mr. MoonDawg Hall, and we're real excited to have him. He's part of the last Honky Tonk music series, which is probably the next best thing, man, to being at the Ryman. So let's go to the phone. Hello, who that?
Hey, it's MoonDawg here. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. Roll Tide.
Well, let's go Cats. You know that. We done talked about that. How you doing, brother? You doing all right?
I'm happy, man. I'm doing real well. Enjoying it. First of all, thank you so much. It's a pleasure, it's a privilege, and it's an honor to have you here on the show. And so many people, you and I have a lot of the same friends, but for those who haven't had the pleasure of hearing music or meeting you just yet, how about you do this? How about you go ahead and introduce yourself, tell folks who that, where you at, introduce the MoonDawg.
Well, I'm MoonDawg Hall from Louisville, Kentucky. I currently live in Nashville, Tennessee, but I've been on the road pretty much full time the last 3 years. I'm a songwriter, and I've been part of the last Honky Tonk music series, and that's a series that was put together in honor of a friend of mine, Wayne Mills, who was taken from us by a club owner in Nashville, Tennessee, and pretty negative, pretty bad thing all the way around. And folks over at the last Honky Tonk music series thought that it'd be a great way to honor our friend, because Wayne was the kind of guy that went out of his way for anybody who dedicated their life to music, and he was trying to help me with that towards the end. I had a duo in Nashville called Good Dog with my good friend John Good, and Wayne was talking about doing a little booking for us to help get us out, and we had a small record deal we were working on at the time, and then Wayne was taken, and then we went on the road with the series, and that's kind of where we're at now. And now my career is kind of stepping out a little bit further, and I'm getting some bigger shows and getting a little more publicity and growing out on my own a little bit now. So it's been a great experience at this point, and I'm real thankful to have been a part in any way, shape, or form.
Well, I really, I'm a big fan of what they do over there. Miss Bridget London and all those folks over at Last Honky Tonk. I tell you, what they do is great for, it's saving country music, if to say that. And listen, man, I enjoy some of the stuff on the radio. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not crazy about most of it. I did a playlist once where I lined up the top 40 songs, top 20 songs from today's country with, 20 of the people that we're fans of here at the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. People like Jimmy Miles and Preacher Stone and Richie Albright and J.W. Lane, So, and I guarantee couldn't nobody argue. I think the Toby Keith and the Tracy Lawrence of today are not the Toby Keith and Tracy Lawrence. I think the music, they've kind of fallen into that cookie cutter mode. So I like what you're doing, and I like the fact that you're part of that last Honky Tonk music series, and there's not a person among that group who, I wouldn't be honored to have on the show, and I'm very honored that you are here, man. I appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you. Thank you for what you do. I mean, anybody that steps out of the box to help music is somebody that I'm for. I think there's so much competition in the world, and there's competition, even pretty stiff competition in the music industry, that a lot of times folks get lost in the shuffle, and I know a lot of people, we try to work hard to stay together the best we can, and even over there, I mean, things get tough at times, and just try to have the benefit of the doubt with the people that are really doing it, and sacrificing everything they have and putting themselves on the line for the music, and those are the folks I try to align myself with, and guys like Dallas Moore have been at it for a long time, and I've spoke with Dallas, and he's open for pretty much every legend there ever was, and he become friends with them, and so you get to share a stage with a guy like that. It's kind of in my opinion, a passing of the torch, and and the fact that a lot of us can share the stage with each other and put our egos aside for the sake of music is really what it's all about for me. It's I left a career in plumbing that was lucrative, and I could have retired and had benefits and had all that, and I spent 20 years in the trades, and I moved to Nashville in 2012 and dedicated my life to being a songwriter, and that's where I've been since. I've played music with bands all the way up to the series, and then the series that really helped me get out and have my solo career, and that's where I'm at now. I'm in that place where my music is taking me to another place, and I'm real thankful for that, and I'm thankful to Bridget London for all she did to help me get to where I'm at, and she's been one of the best friends that I've had, and I love her, appreciate her if she's listening.
Well, I hope she is, man. She's so busy. I don't know how she does it, man. First of all, she's one of the most sought after performers in Nashville or wherever. And then she finds the time to do that. I think she the last Honky Tonk Music series, Saving Country, she does music and writing and story. She's just really amazing. She radio shows and magazines. And then she goes out, and when she puts on a show, man, she takes you take her home with you. You just can't help but leave and knowing that you know what I mean? So she's fantastic. Kudos to her. If she ain't busy, I would love to have her here anytime, Yeah. And, you look at, you talk about Dallas, who is, I consider him a friend, not in the show, but a personal friend, and it's hard not to. But, like, if you look at the group, the names, the circle of people that are surrounding you, Kyle Wilson, who is just, in his own right, wonderful. I know that, that Brooke Falk and Jimmy Miles, a friend of yours, Miss Kim Carson, she did the show, Davis Nix, Billy Don Burns, who did a show for us. I mean, he performed live at my club. Ben Rush, who is just one of my all-time favorites. When we stole him from Slam and Dixie to send him to Nashville. Hooked him up with Jim Vest, and you got Billy Payne. If your friend, your Facebook page is like the who's who of what country music should be. So I think that says a lot about you and your quality as an artist.
Well, thank you. I do hold it to my heart. It's one of those things that people like to talk about heritage, and they like to talk about their background and things of that nature. And I grew up in a family that we would be considered trashy by some people, and we'd be considered rednecks, or however, we were on the wrong side of the tracks, or it's pretty rough life growing up. And but it forms you, it shapes you into who you are. And I grew up around some of the greatest musicians that you probably never heard of. My dad's best friend was Chip Bush, and the way I understood it, Chip played the Opry for a whole bunch, and his cousin is Sam Bush. So I grew up watching the Bush family play bluegrass, and that was right there. So it was just right there in front of you the whole time. And not to say Chip and his family were that; they were a high class family. They were a real nice family. But life happens, and then you pick yourself up or you don't. And my family was the kind that wasn't, you can't stomp them in the mud. They'll get back up and climb out and wash themselves off and try again. And that's the mold I come from. And the music I grew up listening to was tough music, because people had to fight. They had to survive. And those are the songs that you kind of lift you up. You listen to the songs that, kind of help you have a backbone, help you stand up to somebody who's not treating you right, or stand up to somebody that says they're doing right and they're not. And if you're wrong, then being a man enough about it to say you're wrong. And you do the best you can every day, and you just hope that you endure. And it's the same thing with this music. And I gave my whole life to something before, and then the day I decided I wanted this to be my life, I really did. I put it on the line, and the minute you do that, you start to find like-minded people, and it lands you in some rooms with people that sometimes you wonder, well, how did I get here? And sometimes it doesn't seem real, to have a Dean Dillon invite you into his trailer and invite you to come do shows with him and tell you he's your brother. And I mean, the guy that wrote so many hits for George Strait is calls you on the telephone to see how you're doing at times. I mean, it kind of lets you know where you're at as a songwriter, I think. And I don't pay so much attention to the fame side of things. I don't really know if that's a reality or not. And a lot of people like to tell me I am this, that, or the other. And the reality of it is every day I'm working. You know, I'm writing, trying to stay relative. I'm trying to book shows. I'm trying to stay busy because it's easy to fade and it's easy to ride off into the sunset. And if you really want to do this, you gotta fight for it and you gotta work hard. And that's the kind of stuff I like to write about. I've been through it. I've been through so many things in my life that there's really nothing I don't feel that can hold me down. And sometimes that lands you alone. But you know, that's what this music thing does to a person. If you really give yourself to it, it takes you to another place, and it gives you a whole nother life, and you become something entirely different than what you set out and what you thought you were going to be, because we're only a product of what's put in front of us and how we react to it, and that's, I try to do the best I can every day and keep a positive mindset, and that's really hard to do at times. And being in the music industry, even sometimes with your best of friends, you rub each other wrong and have to take a break from one another.
Yeah.
And,
you got to tread lightly sometimes, you know what I mean?
That's right. Sometimes you break the ice, though. Sometimes you fall right through and you get wet, and you got to fight your way out. And that's what life is about, I think. I think a lot of the music today that we listen to is, it's all on the level. It's all right there for you, and I don't think a lot of songwriters really pay attention to what they're putting out. It's a real responsibility, the music, and
that's what I want to get into. That's what I want to get into. Is I want to get into the songwriting. I mentioned tread lightly, and I know that so many artists, so many people you talk to, they draw from life experiences. You mentioned Billy Don Burns, one of the greatest singer-songwriters, bar none, all time, and it's every once in a while, I listen to your music, MoonDawg. When I go through there, it brings me to certain styles. It brings me to certain imagery. Now, when I say that, I say it like this. I don't compare artist to artist because, that's too cliche. But there are sometimes when I listen to your music, it'll bring me to an imagery that, I have of a kid and I'd be someplace and I'd be listening to, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Waylon. There's some Waylon music that'll come to mind when I listen to you, or maybe there's a little bit somewhere in there I hear an essence of Glenn Campbell just behind the storytelling aspect of what you do.
Oh, wow, that's a new one. I haven't heard that.
Yeah, Tom T. Hall, because again, like I said, they're just pieces of it that say, hey, you know what, that's kind of, I remember Tom T. Hall wrote a song where he was talking about, this, and this is kind of mixing, when Misery and Gin, it makes you think of Haggard, but, just the title. But I think that's a great play. But then when you listen to it, though, it's, you could probably get like a feeling of David Allan Coe, you know what I mean? So, I think you flow within a genre that's it's not necessarily outlaw, and don't be offended, but that song about when old friend, to me it's kind of like, man, if you were to put a banjo and banjo in that. I mean, to me, there's some Dolly Parton to it, and I'm not again, it's just you hear something in a song that if it can take you someplace familiar, that's a damn good song, and your music does that for me. It's all your own, but it takes you to a place that's familiar. It brings when it brings in memories and things like that. That's fine. A lot of music that you hear on the radio today, when you're listening to it, it's just that's the song, and you're in the moment. And you don't go anywhere with it. So I thank you for the journey, and tread lightly. I would really like to hear about that song, man. Tell me about that song.
Well, that song come from, I was supposed to play a festival, and I won't say the name of the festival, But I was supposed to play a festival. It was going to be when I was working with my group, the Duo. It was one of our last shows we were going to do because I was doing my solo thing. Good Dog, my buddy John Good, we were going to play that show. And originally that show was supposed to be in North Carolina, and something happened with the venue. Then they moved it to Kentucky. Something happened with the venue. They moved it again. There were a lot of things that happened. I didn't really care for a lot of the things that were happening, and I've voiced that opinion, I should say. And it cost me a show. And Billy Joe Shaver was on that show, and Dallas Moore and Kyle Wilson and a bunch of my other friends were there. And my friend Scott Green over at Dat Sauce had sponsored the show, and the guy had thrown me off of it, and it was real, it was really kind of a weak way of doing it. He sent me a message through Facebook, real long-winded, and I come from the cut, hey, pick up the phone and tell me what's going on. If you got a problem with me.
I know you well enough, man. I know you. Listen, I'd rather break your heart over the phone, man. I would not want to do it face to face.
Yeah. So that's really what happened, and I just thought it was kind of a Weasley way of doing business, and so I was at the Floribama, and Bridget London was there, and Kyle Wilson was there. And I come out from my bedroom that I was staying in there, and come out to the main there and sat down at the kitchen table and was telling them what happened. And there was something, Bridget and I kind of go back and forth. She said she come up with the line. I said I come up with it, and it ended up we wrote the song together one way, shape, or form. I put the pen to paper, and she was there when I come up with the idea, and then I finished it over in Oxford, Mississippi at my friend Tim and Gene Ledford's place, and just ended up being what it was. And I wrote a song to try to make light of it, tread lightly, and we put it on a record as a joke. I just thought it was fun to do. It was not a lot of people record songs like that, and I thought, hey, why not? Let's have some fun. And so a lot of songs I record because I think they're fun and I enjoy them. It's stuff I enjoy listening to.
I tell you what, man, if you shut up, I'll play this for folks.
Well, all right.
So this is how we do it here. We're gonna introduce the song and let them know they listen to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show.
Well, hey y'all, it's MoonDawg Hall. I'm on the steps of the Ryman Theater in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm from Louisville, Kentucky, and you're listening to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. This is my song, Tread Lightly.
Don't pour gasoline on a fire if you don't want to get burned. You don't point a stick at a rabid dog if you don't want to get bit. You don't piss off a songwriter if you want to have the last word. Well, I'll tell you this, my friend, tread lightly. Well, I've been burning up these old highways, speaking out for my kind of music. And you're gonna have a big old country show and think it's smart to kick me out. Well, I'll tell you this, my friend, after it's all said and done, well, I'll still be burning up them highways, and I'll always be around. You don't pour gasoline on a fire if you don't want to get burned. You don't point your stick at the old MoonDawg if you don't want to get your ass kicked. Don't piss off this here songwriter if you want to have the last word. Well, I tell you this, my friend, tread lightly. Gasoline on a fire if you don't want to get burned. You don't I'll tell you this here, my friend. I said tread lightly. Don't pour gasoline on a fire if you don't want to get burned. You don't point your stick at the old MoonDawg if you don't want to get your ass kicked. Well, don't piss off this here songwriter if you want to have the last word. Well, I tell you this, my friend, I said tread lightly. What was he thinking, kicking me out of a show in my own state? Ha!
All right, we're back. How you, MoonDawg, you there?
Yeah, I'm still here, brother.
All right, man. We're gonna make sure. Let's let people know where they can find you. Where's your music? You know, give out your iTunes, CD Baby, all that kind of stuff.
Well, it's everything you said. I'm on iTunes, CD Baby, Amazon, Apple Music, Reverb Nation. You can find me on Facebook under MoonDawg Hall. It's MoonDawg. That's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I usually try to keep folks up to date with what's going on. And there's a YouTube channel with both my records. What Happened to the Songs, the 16 songs. I wrote or co-wrote all 16 of those songs. Released that 2 years ago. And then here of late, in March, I released my newest album. It's Road to Sanity, a Kaiju Experience, and that's got 11 songs, 10 of which I wrote or co-wrote. Old Friend was the only one I didn't write, and that was written by my friend Denny Wheatley and his friend Danny Epps. And Danny, from the way I understand it, worked or some way, shape, or form, had cuts, I think, with Bobby Bear, and at one time may have played guitar with Billy Joe Shaver and a few of those folks, and Danny's no longer with us, and Danny gave us that song. We put that on the record. I'm happy for you to mention that song. That one meant a lot to me. But that's got 11 songs on it. But any way, shape, or form you want to listen, I'm always grateful for anybody who
so we got Spotify,
yeah.
Facebook, CD Baby, and I tell you what,
Twitter
if our
and all
folks
that.
Just tell people what the hell is wrong with you, man. You're out. Do you get kicked out of a country show in your own place and they lock the doors on you at the Ryman? Is that what's going on?
Oh no, nothing like that. We're hanging out over here. But we come down here now and again just to visit the Ryman and walk the alley. I'm a huge fan of, I should say, Hank Williams, because he was really, I think, Jimmy Rogers was the godfather and the innovator and creator of country music, but Hank really kind of lived it the way we live it, and I know more about Hank than I do Jimmy, I should say, just growing up the way I did, and I'm a huge fan of Hank's, and I always kind of like to go and visit him in Montgomery, and I come to the Ryman over here to kind of visit, and it's kind of, in my mind, it's a shame that he's not a part of the Grand Ole Opry. I think that's a sham and a shame, but it's business and people feel the way they do, but I try to get out here and do the things that nobody else does. I think it's the preservation of music, and a lot of people get to where they are, and I'm in a position where I can just float and do that. So that's kind of what I do. I kind of float around and play my shows and try to visit our old friends that people kind of have sometimes been forgotten, and people don't listen to country music today are really unaware of what Hank Williams did for our kind of music. And this thing doesn't hold up on its own. It takes people to put it on its shoulders and to keep it going, and some people are doing it for the wrong reasons, and I do it for the music. I realize that I may not have the fame and fortune that a lot of people have, so I hold on to the little things when I can, and if it's as simple as coming over and and talking to my buddy Redneck in New York from the steps of the Ryman Theaters, and I feel like that's our duty. You know, that's our job. I could be sitting at home on my couch in comfort, but hell, that's no fun. Let's get up and go do something fun. Let's go down to Nashville and let them know we're here. So that's how I feel about it.
All right. Well, listen up. We play Tread Lightly, and there's, you know, I have a favorite song. My favorite song is you know, Broken Hearts Lounge, and we'll get to that one here. But we talked about old friends, and you mentioned that. You know, let's just real quick, just recap who that was written by, introduce it for our fans. Let's play some music for these folks.
Well, this is Old Friend that was written by my old friend Denny Wheatley and his old friend Danny Epps. We recorded the song with the Talent Brothers in Talent, Missouri, and this is our song, Old Friend, on the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. Thank you, Redneck.
Old man, you first learned to fly long ago.
Old friend, it's time you tried your wings out on your own.
Old man, have you taught me everything I need to know?
Well, old friend, I've just got this to say before you go.
Play the hand that's dealt you, let the cards fall where they may. If you can't afford to gamble, you're in the wrong game. You can lose your fortune while you're trying to count your change. Tomorrow's never promised, it's no one's to give away. It smells like cigarettes and yesterday.
Old friend, I'm getting old and my hair is done turned gray.
Old man, fire in your eyes is burning low.
Well, old friend, half the time there's something feeling broke.
Play the hand that's dealt you, let the cards fall where they may. If you can't afford to gamble, you're in the wrong game. You can lose your fortune while you're trying to count your change. Tomorrow's never promised, there's no one's to give away. Play the hand that's dealt you, let the cards fall where they may. If you can't afford to gamble, you're in the wrong game. You can lose your fortune while you're trying to count your change. Tomorrow's never promised, it's no one's to give away. Tomorrow's never promised, it's no one's to give away.
Man, I like that. I like that a lot. That is pretty. Let's go back and see if MoonDawg ain't fall asleep yet there on the steps of the Ryman. Hey, brother, how you doing?
I'm still here. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Now, I told you when I was listening to that, that was the one that to me had like that Dolly Parton vibe to it. You know, I don't know how to explain that. I don't know if it's the lyrics behind it or just that dobro in the background. Was that what that was? What do you?
Well, it's actually a steel guitar. A friend of mine, Dale, and I apologize, Dale. I know Dale by his first name. He works with my buddies over at Talent Brothers, Brandon and Rocky. They can tell you better. They produced the record.
I mean, that just has a great sound. You know, I want to go ahead and I want to honor our manners. Let's do this. There are people that are on these songs. Anybody out there you want to give shout out, you want to give credit to?
I first and foremost, I'm going to say God, because I do everything through Him. And my mother, Kathy, she's back home. My two daughters, Kirsten and Caitlin, and they're my strength. And my friends here, I got Lee Donaldson with me. My buddy John Good, who's been with me in Nashville since the get. He's the one I wrote the Broken Hearts Lounge with. And Bridget London, I'd like to thank her. Dean Tyndall, she's out there listening. Kyle Wilson, Dallas Moore, Mike Weatherford, for putting more into me than anybody ever, and giving me all your time, and my grandfather, and the Talent Brothers for what they did for me with this record. Ricky Maddox, Miss Jan, Tim Ledford, Gene Ledford, Chuck Couvert, and Diane Couvert, and folks Scott Green. So I thank everybody who's helped me get to where I'm at right now, right here on the steps of the Ryman Theater, talking to my buddy Redneck. And thank you, Redneck, and thank you and all the people on the radio, my friends Gordon Ames, CJ Cumberland. You know, I just wanted to make sure that, you know, I know that you know, you're making these albums, you're making this music, there's people playing with you, and I just wanted to, you know, who's on the guitar, who's on the fiddle, who's on... I don't know all the musicians. A lot of the guys are friends of Rocky's. Brandon Talent was on it. Rocky Talent did most of the musicianship. Andrew Hobbs played drums on Mama. Dale Guthrie is the steel guitar player. He's playing on all the tracks. And Stan Denninger did the keys on Stardoom. I did all the B3 work on the record. And Rocky played most of the bass. Ken Keller played bass. Jacob Baxter played some lead guitar on the record. Johnny Harden played guitar on the song Mama, played the rhythm guitar. And I think that and Jill Kinsey sang harmonies. And I want to thank Jill for her contribution. She played rhythm guitar on Mama. And I think that just about covers it. It was a pretty close group. And Rocky Talent, for his brilliance as an engineer, Rocky worked with Levon Helm on his last work, Electric Dirt, and they got to live up there, so I appreciate all of their contribution to those boys. And what they're doing over there, they're doing magic. They're doing magic out there in Missouri, and I'm glad I got to be a part of that. So thank you, boys. And Craig Ligman for my first record. Craig Ligman produced that record, and Chip Bush and Marty Miller for playing on it as well. Yeah, man, whoever you think of, like I said, you know, Kyle, there's a lot of people have checked in, you know, which is, it shows. Kyle Wilson's that's one of my best friends in the world right there. Hey, Bear, if you're listening. We've written some songs together. We did a tour out to Montana, and I can't even tell you how many songs we've probably got written out of that. And, Chris Andrews texted in with you, too. He said, yeah, hey, brother. All right. So, look, we talked about a few of these things, and this is what we're going to do, man. Let's just go right through some music here. And what I want you to do is give me a big old Gumbo YaYa. Tell people who that, where you at. Oh, this is MoonDawg Hall coming to you from Nashville, Tennessee. Listening to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. Thank you, Redneck, for playing my music, brother. All right. And we're going to go into Driving Me Lonesome, okay? Well, I wrote that with T-Bone Montgomery. We wrote that song down at the River House at Floribama, and that's me singing that song right there. We wrote about Hank Williams and Hank Cochran in this tune. You're listening to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. This is the worldwide home of the independent artist. I'm MoonDawg Hall from Louisville, Kentucky. Here's my song, Driving Me Lonesome.
At night I drive home, though Hank on my radio. Spend my nights pouring out my heart and my soul, watching 1 and 1 make 2. And I'm sitting here like a fool, wishing I could find the one to make my 2. But reality sets in, going home alone again. Hank's driving me lonesome from my radio. Watching 1 and 1 make 2, and I'm sitting here like a fool, wishing I could find the one to make my 2. But reality sets in, I'm going home alone again. Hank's driving me lonesome from my radio. Hank's driving me lonesome from my radio.
Damn, dog, is that it?
Well, when you get everything you got to say, you got it all out.
That is just, all right, man. So maybe I got a new favorite. I listened to it, I listen to your music, as often as I can, and a lot of times I just never get to, unless I'm doing the show, I don't get to get through a full tune the whole time, every time.
Yeah, I understand.
What is the name of the album? Where can people find it?
Name of the album is Road to Sanity, The Kaiju Experience, MoonDawg Hall. You can get that song on all of the digital outlets, iTunes, Amazon, CD Baby, Apple. Go to PayPal.com, put $17 in, your address, and how many, 15 per CD, 2 for shipping, and I've got a new shipment coming in. I'll mail you one out and sign it for you if you want. And you can find me on Facebook, Twitter, and all that under MoonDawg Hall, MoonDawg HALL, and become my friend, like my page, go to Twitter and Instagram and all that, and I'll...
Yeah, so let's just keep on going, man. Let's just keep on going. I want to make sure we get to the music, and you don't mind me keeping a little bit longer. We're gonna go ahead, and I'm gonna have you introduce the songs, and then I guess your mom don't like the work you do. Is that what's going on now?
No, that was just a conversation. Her being the parent that she should be, A good parent just checks to make sure that their kid's doing what they should be doing, and they're not just doing it for any other reason. And our family, we may be a lot of things, but we try to keep our integrity, and that's what that song is. It's about a conversation that my mother had with me, and it's actually about a show that I did in Midland, Texas, with Pee Wee Moore and Bridget London, and then I drove from Midland to Las Cruces, New Mexico for a show, and had to unload and drive 14 hours to Salt Lake City. So I was up for 36 hours to do 3 shows, and that's what that song's about.
All right, well, you know what you got to do. You got a song, all right? You ready?
Well, this is MoonDawg Hall coming to you from the steps of the Ryman Theater in Nashville, Tennessee. You're listening to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show, and thank you, Redneck, for playing my song, Mama. Don't think this is work.
I sit again at this kitchen table. Got an 8-hour drive on my mind, staring at a can of beer before I leave out here. Well, yesterday it was coffee. It was too much for me. Just couldn't handle how wound up it made me. So here I sit today with the thoughts of yesterday and days before. And I can't help but think about the conversation my mama and me had about this music I'm playing. She said, son, is that really what you want to do with your life? I mean, you got a real good job. You really gonna go? You got some people that love you and they don't understand what it is you're doing. Made it back to Texas. Thought I had 3 days to rest. But the highway woman called, said, son, you got yourself 3 days to get back west. But mama don't think this is fair. And but here I sit, even with all of that. You think she's understanding yet? You think she's starting to get the picture? I don't know, man. Let's show her again.
Can't you see? Can't you see? What the MoonDawg done to me? I tell you, man.
That's right.
Listen, here's the thing, man. The hell with this interview, because look, man, this is good stuff. I'm gonna keep going. Let's talk about, and real quick, because listen, man. I know why you can do. I know why you put on 3-hour shows, 4-hour shows. An hour of it's talking between songs.
Yeah, you got me. Well, I enjoy what I do, and I have a lot of fun. And before I say any more, I want to make a point to tell all your listeners, if they're listening, to go to WayneMillsBand.com and buy everything. That helps Wayne's wife and his son that are left behind. There's no retirement in this life we play in music and we live, and our loved ones are left to hold the baggage at the end of it and hold all the troubles. And anything you can do, anybody, if even if you play some Wayne Mills music, that would mean a whole lot to me. And the things that we're trying to do over at the last Honky Tonk Music Series is to. And
I tell you what,
I just wanted to get that out. Thank you.
This is what I want you to do, man. As I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna share that post, any post like that, and this is what I'd like to do. Is I would like to do a Gumbo YaYa Radio Show, Wayne Mills Memorial fundraiser, and I'd like for you to let your friends know now. I'm gonna post it, and we'll live, and then we'll get everybody to chit chat and join in. We'll talk to the people over at the last Honky Tonk Series. We'll pick a date, and then we'll just play tunes and we'll chat and we'll dedicate it to Wayne Mills. And if anybody who wants to donate or whatever, they can just go right there and take directly. We'll spread the message and they can go right there to them. How's that sound? Would you mind co-hosting that with me?
Carolyn Jack Mills. That would mean a whole lot to us. Thank you, Redneck, for all you do for our kind of music.
Hey man, thank you for giving us the music. And listen, let's do this. I told you I love Broken Hearts Lounge. So let's talk about the young lady that's singing that with you. And let's back up a little bit. I like the way my favorite line is when they said the highway woman called me and said I had 3 hours to be in Nashville. Yeah. That was talking with Bridget London. We used to coordinate a whole lot from the road, and
I had gotten back to Texas, and then she informed me that, well, now there's a show in Oregon, and all of our connector gigs canceled, but they've done a TV spot and a radio remote and all that kind of thing for Halfway Oregon. That was something that Brooke Fault put together for us, and that was referencing that part of that leg of that tour. There's a whole lot in that song that, thank you for asking, because there's a lot of it I guess I don't really get to talk about. So that's the other part of that part of that song there.
Okay, yeah, I like that. But yeah, now let's get back over there to tell us about the young lady who's singing that tune with you, because I love that.
That's Jill Kinsey. Jill Kinsey's got her own album out now, Just Jill, and I got to be there for a lot of that. And Jill is an incredible songwriter and artist, and a really good friend of mine. And she offered her services to come sing on the record, and she thought I was on to something and wanted to be part of it, so she come over and did a record with the Talent Brothers as well. So you can go out and buy Jill's record as well, because there's everything on there, something she wrote and put herself into, and it's good music.
What was the post that I posted about that before? Oh, yeah, I remember what I said. I'm listening to that song, and I said I was mad at the hell at the two of you, because I'm 20 years with my Yankee bride and listen to that song and just kind of, I was like, damn, man, this song, it's, I ain't never felt like that. That song is all kind of emotional. So maybe I just, kick her to the curb, and if I wasn't happily married, man, I'd be on the bar stool, with that broken heart slam. So
that's how it goes. You got to drink them off your heart. That's how you do it. I probably ought to write that song too. Drink them off your heart. You heard that one here first. That's the life, though. That's how we do it. We all have things we go through, and it's just a matter of how you deal with it. And that's what our music's about. It's about going to going down to the watering hole and crying in your beer and pulling yourself back together and going to work, because life goes on.
Yeah, you know what? Here, man, there's a couple of them, man. I'll write some songs with you. You could say,
yeah.
It sounded like, it sounded like a good idea till I done it. It sounded like a good song till I sung it. You know what I mean?
Well, the danger in writing these kind of songs is you bring that kind of life on you. It's pretty lonely life at times, So be careful what you write, because you'll write your life right out for you.
So we're gonna do this, MoonDawg, because we got a lot of songs. So what we'll do is basically, I'm gonna have you go ahead and intro a bunch of songs for us, and then we're gonna.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay, this is MoonDawg Hall calling in from Nashville, Tennessee. You're listening to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. This is Broken Heart Lounge. Thank you, Redneck, for playing our kind of music.
Well, another one packed her bags. Oh, love lost again. Yeah, it's been a while. I need you, friend. You've always supported me in more ways than one. Just another night you can help me forget. And that's why I'm back on this bar stool again. And this is where broken hearts go to drown, searching for another heart in the lost and found. Welcome to the Broken Hearts Lounge. This is where broken hearts go to drown. This is where broken hearts go to drown. And that old bottle had some dust on it when the bartender, he pulled it down. He said, I saved this one just for you, 'cause I knew you'd be back around. Just another night can help me forget. And that's why I'm back on this bar stool again. And this is where broken hearts go to drown, searching for another heart in the lost and found. Welcome to the Broken Hearts Lounge. This is where broken hearts go to drown. This is where broken hearts go to drown. If you're ever lost and broken down, you're always welcome here in the Broken Hearts Lounge. And this is where broken hearts go to drown, searching for another heart in the lost and found. Welcome to the Broken Hearts Lounge. This is where broken hearts go to drown. This is where broken hearts go to drown. Yeah, another one packed her bags. Oh, love lost again.
There you go, man. Mona Lisa lost her smile. That's some paycheck in there, brother. I guarantee that. Hello. Hello.
You there? Sorry about that. I had it on mute. Can you hear me?
Did you? Did you? Yeah. People can't hear you smoking that, man.
I don't know what you're talking about. That's good stuff. Thank you for playing that song. That's one of my favorites on the record. My buddy John Good and I sat down with a friend Larry Brown, and we'd written that song from a show I did at the Spillway in Bowling Green, and my friend Christy Atkins, who is cousins with Eddie Montgomery of Montgomery Gentry, had come out to my show, and she normally doesn't have the time, and she come out and she said, well, if I wasn't here, I'd be on a bar stool somewhere else. And I said, well, I'm going to go home and write that, and we'll give you credit on it. And she was happy with the song, and I'm real proud of that one. Thank you for playing that one. I'm always at it. I'm always working, and I know we're moving down the road a little bit, so still with you, though.
Yeah, well, we're glad you're there, man. Listen, there's a lot of exciting things coming up out of Nashville, and, we had Mr. Jamie Garner from High South. If you're out there, find him on Facebook, find Jamie Garner, and Miss Ashley Shannon, she's a good friend of ours. Jim Vest. Jim Vest, the steel guitar player? Yes, sir. Yeah, he's from my hometown, Louisville, Kentucky. I met Jim at the Frank Brown Songwriters Festival this past year. It was quite an honor. Quite an honor. He's a legend. So that's awesome. He's part of your show. Tell him I said hello if you talk to him before I do. I sure will. Just to let you know, Billy Payne and Jimmy Miles. These are some folks who just giving a thumbs up here online, Facebook. They're two. But Shelley Patterson, Angela Roberts, Christy McGuire, Billy Highland, Billy Payne, Joe Corville, Obi Kelly Graham. So you're
That's all my friends. Yeah, I love all those folks there. Billy Highland's down there. He's got a new thing happening. Shelley Patterson, she's the one who took the photo for the cover art on the record. Thank you, Shelley, for all you do and all you're doing. And Jimmy Miles, we're getting ready to do a show August 27th in Guillen, Alabama for Mission Vets. We're going to be playing alongside of Kentucky Headhunters and Doug Supernaw. Casper McWade's one of my really great friends and incredible talent. You should try to have on the show. He's got a hit song in Texas right now. He wrote with Tim Ledford, or Tim Ledford wrote it, and Casper and they both wrote the song. I don't know the details on it, but they recorded it, and it released in Texas at number 4 on one of the charts out there. So they're doing good things. Casper's going to be there, and there's a bunch of other artists that are going to be on the show, and it's a big thing they're doing August 27th in Guillen, Alabama. So thanks to Tim Ledford, J.C. Bryant, and Jimmy Miles for making that one happen.
You got time for a couple more?
Absolutely. We got time until we don't. You're listening to my buddy Redneck on the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show. This is MoonDawg Hall from Louisville, Kentucky. Here's my song, Stardew.
Down in the Mississippi Delta, legionnaire was born. Was a young blues man who could barely play, and his story still told today. He bargained with the devil, and his soul was a chip. He only lived to be 27, the price he paid for fame. When darkness comes a-calling, will you have the strength to turn and walk away? What will you do with your soul on the line in exchange for your dreams? When the wicked one offers you Stardew, will you keep your integrity? You're dancing with the devil like a high wire ride, walking that long gray fence line with the skill of an acrobat, never choosing from right or wrong, and working like a whoremonger, doing whatever it takes, as long as you shine. When darkness comes a-calling, will you have the strength to turn and walk away? What will you do with your soul on the line in exchange for your dreams? When the wicked one offers you Stardew, will you keep your integrity? Now that you've made the big time, can you go to sleep at night? When you stand in front of a mirror, can you look yourself in the eye? You sold your friends down the river just to stand there in the light. When the shoe was on the other foot, brother, you can bet that I chose right. When darkness comes a-calling, will you have the strength to turn and walk away? What will you do with your soul on the line in exchange for your dreams? When the wicked one offers you Stardew, will you keep your integrity? Will you keep your integrity? Can you keep your integrity? Better keep your integrity.
Can you moan the blues? Can you make that guitar sing? If you feel starbound. What the hell? Damn it, MoonDawg. I'm gonna call you Moon Riggedy Dog, man. You better come on, man. I want an autographed copy today.
All right. Well, I'll have some by the time I get up there. Just got a fresh order.
All right, and so when's the next album coming out, man? Come on.
Well, I'm working on it. I don't have everything together. I don't.
Story.
Just working on it right now, so
blah 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 blah.
Yeah. There's nothing happening yet, but I've already got the songs for the next record. We'll say that. At least most of them. I'm sure there'll be a few to come along. That's the way it goes.
Wait, man. And I can't wait. And listen, I am a fan. I tell you.
Thank you.
And I wasn't till I heard you. Ain't that funny?
Well, that's how it goes, right?
How the hell did I end up stumbling across you? It had to be, Bridget London, man. And it's you know what it is I got a whole bunch of Richard Green. A few people had said, "Have you heard them? Have you heard this guy? Jimmy Miles." And once I started talking to them Alabama boys know what good music is, even if you is from Kentucky.
Oh, you're not lying. That's one of the best scenes out there. Two of my favorite places to play are Alabama and Texas. That I'm very thankful for everybody who's helped me get to where I'm at, and the folks that come out and support and they buy the music, and it means a whole lot to us. That's how we keep going. So keep buying the music.
We'll keep sharing it, man. We'll keep sharing it. How about we get into another song here?
Right.
How about you introduce Not That I'm Heartbroken to folks who are listening to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show, because after all, we're playing it for everybody. The Gumbo YaYa Radio Show is the worldwide home for the independent artist, and we have Mr. MoonDawg Hall on the phone with us right now. We're listening to his music. MoonDawg, tell folks who that way you at.
I'm MoonDawg Hall from Louisville, Kentucky. You can hear my song, Not That I'm Heartbroken, and many more right here on the worldwide home of the independent artist, the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show, hosted by my good buddy Redneck.
Turn your back on a coyote. Don't fall for no girls from Wiley. You stand up to a coyote, he's more likely to run away. Now a girl from Wiley is more likely to stray. You want to protect your heart now, fella. Better off to stay away. I'll tell y'all a little story about my girl from Wiley. She sure loved the guitar, man. She craved their attention. Not that I'm heartbroken, just a little bit mad. I can't help but wonder just how many she had. In the beginning, she thought I walked on water. Towards the end there, fella, she just needed more attention than I had to offer. Sure, I sound a little bitter. Think you would be too. Been run through the ringer, left feeling like a fool. Not that I'm heartbroken, just a little bit mad. And I can't help but wonder just how many she's had. Not that I'm heartbroken, just a little bit mad. I can't help but wonder just how many she had.
Man, I tell you what, you sing pretty for a fellow with your looks. I gotta tell you that much right there, man.
Well, there's a good-looking dude underneath all this now. Be careful, he might get his feelings hurt.
Yeah. What is that? Insulation and
Pretty much. It's a BS guard. It keeps him away from all the BS.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Redneck. This is your show. I'm just the host. We're chatting with Mr. MoonDawg Hall. We're going to go out of here with Misery and Gin. We're going to play that for folks, if you don't mind. And then, what's the story behind that briefly, if you can fill us in how you came about that?
I'll make it real quick if I can. My buddy David Harris lives in Lukenbach, Texas. Come in. We were staying at the Armadillo Farm in Lukenbach, and I wrote that song with David Harris and our friend Catfish Charlie Rick Flowers, and David has a girlfriend that's a supermodel, and she probably doesn't care about me speaking of it, but they were having some troubles, and we were writing this song to try to make things better, and then I got a hold of it with him, and he fought me tooth and nail on the song, and that's how it came out, and we're real proud of that song right there. Jill Kinsey did a wonderful job on the harmonies with us. And it's just about, it was kind of an homage to Merle Haggard. While Merle Haggard was still with us, it was kind of one of those things where he come in feeling, the effects of the misery, and gin, and he wanted to write about it. And that's the song we come up with, and he wanted to honor Merle Haggard. He's a Lukenbach legend over there, and he hangs out with some pretty mighty people in his own. So David Harris is another one folks should check out. And this is my song, Misery and Gin, written at the Armadillo Farm in Lukenbach, Texas, on the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show.
I've held love and I felt lost. I played the game and I paid the cost. Well, I saw it come and I watched her go. Her heart may be broken, but her tear can't be sown. And the gin flowed through me like the blood through my heart. I drank my fill until it tore me apart. Well, I've been discarded because of my sin. Now I'm left in shambles from the misery and gin. Yeah, I'm left in shambles from the misery and gin. She needed love that she could touch, and I came around not nearly enough. Well, she was lonely and I was gone. I drank and time have left her alone. And the gin flowed through me like the blood through my heart. I drank my fill until it tore me apart. Well, I've been discarded because of my sin. Now I'm left in shambles from the misery and gin. Yeah, I'm left in shambles from the misery and gin. Yeah, the gin flowed through me like the blood through my heart. Well, I drank my fill until it tore me apart. Well, I've been discarded because of my sin. Now I'm left in shambles from the misery and gin. Yeah, I'm left in shambles from the misery. Yeah, I'm left in shambles from the misery and gin.
Well, that's a nice little tune right there, man. That's good stuff. I'm going to have to put that on my slow dance belly rub waltz mixtape.
Well, there's a sight to be
man, you damn sure. I tell you what, man, if you're in Lukenbach at the barn, man, I guarantee you can polish some belt buckle to that.
You're right about that. That's an old two-step waltz right there, man. That's what David said. He said we got to write heartbreak in the form of a waltz, and that's what we did. We
just want to say thank you one more time, MoonDawg, for joining us, and we appreciate you being on the show. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and all you do over there, Redneck. It takes all of us to keep this thing happening. So thanks for all you do on your end. And so remember, ladies and gentlemen, hug your friends, kiss your family, and thank the Lord. Y'all keep listening to the Gumbo YaYa Radio Show now, you hear?